Hello, Kentucky Law and Public Safety educators. Thank you for joining me on this video today as your academic program consultant, Erica Settelin. I am excited to walk you through many of the resources that I hope will assist you in your transition from industry to classroom. We're excited to be with you on this journey for occupation-based certification. And as a member of the team for the Office of Career and Technical Education, the same team that will be part of your journey for the New Teacher Institute, we welcome you to Career and Technical Education, and we're excited to get you started. So today I'm going to walk you through several resources that are relevant to your journey and things that are going to help you kind of wrap your head around what is CTE, how do I fit into this new picture and this new journey, and what can I do to help kids understand the information and content that you bring expertise from the industry side into the classroom for them to experience. So we're going to start with a visual here, and this is just the cover page of our welcome binder. This is something that I will distribute to you either in person at our Kentucky Association for Career and Technical Education, or KACTE Summer Conference. If you're not hired by the summer conference, not to worry, I can mail this to you and we can meet virtually and we can walk through that binder resource, or I can deliver it in person and do a classroom visit with you as well. But this welcome binder has many different resources with lots of different links, but unfortunately you can't click paper. So while it's nice to have something physical to look at, we also have all of our digital versions and records of those same documents that will be in your binder on our website. So let's jump in there first. This is the Kentucky LPS Educator website, and this will bring you to the welcome page. You do not need to worry about following along with these links or writing these links down that you see in the tabs that I go through today during this video. I will have a QR code for you at the end so that you can take a snapshot of that and it will give you all of the links to all of the things that we discuss in this video. So without going too deeply into the website today, the main thing I want you to understand is who can help you and how do you reach out to those people who can help you and what do you teach and where can you get some advice on how to teach what you teach. So we're going to scroll to the bottom of the welcome page to get us started. So you have myself, Erica Settelin, with my contact information. Again, as your program consultant, it's my job to support you in your journey from year one to retirement. Whatever that looks like for you, more or less, I'm happy to facilitate. We offer a lot of professional development opportunities. I can come and do site visits in your classroom and help give you feedback. I like to do a resource repository of different things for you to consider. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are the professional, you are the expert in the room, and we trust you and give you the autonomy to make those informed decisions. That's a little bit about me and the role that I play. The second person here on your screen is Miss Kim Woodall, and she is our Skills USA State Advisor. Our Skills USA State Advisor is doing a very similar job to what I do, but supporting you in helping kids get access to and participate in their CTSO. So you're probably wondering, what is a CTSO? A Career and Tech Student Organization, or CTSO, is a leadership opportunity for students to be able to apply the learning that they receive in your classroom in competitive environments, develop their leadership and networking abilities, and prepare them for post-secondary and workforce. It's a phenomenal resource, something that is a little overwhelming in those beginning years, but will allow your students to flourish in the coming years. I will allow Kim to go a little bit deeper into what is Skills USA itself and how she can help you in her welcome video. Moving on from Kim, we have Dr. Tom Washburn. Dr. Tom Washburn is one of our partners that we work with regularly as the Executive Director of the Law and Public Safety Education Network. So as you know, in your profession in law and public safety in the industry, you have lots of national partners likely that you are associated with or members of, because they disseminate information to keep what we're doing the most relevant and the most helpful, and the most successful students are able to leave our programs because we are giving them relevant and current information. So LAPSN leads that charge at a national level, and we work with them to make sure we're aligned with the work that they do. Scrolling on up, I want to make sure that you know some kind of big bucket items or landing pages. We have the KDE OCTE website, some descriptions of the different things you'll find on that website. We have the KDE LPS, or Law and Public Safety website, and some descriptions of things here. So the website I'm showing you today is really more of a teacher-centered source, whereas this Law and Public Safety website landing page is still relevant, but more so to our industry partners and other education partners. Then we have resource and networks, different suggestions around social media, resources that you can follow, private Facebook groups. We do have a Facebook group for exclusively Kentucky CTE law and public safety teachers, where we share different things that are happening and promote our programs. We also have our quarterly newsletter, a contact sheet that will share all of your colleagues' emails, their schools, the programs that they teach, so you can feel very supported and surrounded by people that are at the same stage of the journey and those that have been in the journey a little bit longer than you that can give you feedback and support and help you understand kind of where you're at, where you're going, and where you can get to, so that we have reasonable expectations and you give yourself grace as you make this transition. It's a hard transition, but a worthy transition. Moving on from there, you're going to see some other generic links here that are a little bit more in depth than what we're going to go into today. But as you have time, interest, and energy to explore those, please do so. And if you have any questions along the way with anything you see, I'm here to help. Let's move on to the big question that most teachers have when they make that transition to the classroom. What classes do I teach? What do I teach in them? How do I teach them? So let's start with what document can tell you that information. We have a document at the Office of Career and Technical Education, or OCTE, called the Program of Studies, or POS. This is released annually to that KDE resource landing page that was on the last screen, and you'll be able to open 2 different documents to help guide you each year. This is something you should check each year, especially if you do not attend summer conference in the years after completing the New Teacher Institute, or NTI program, because this is where we share a lot of those updates and information so that you're prepared for the upcoming school year. So let's start with the pathway landing page. You can see the name of the pathway in the example I'm going to show you today is Law Enforcement Services. We have a pathway description, we have the courses that are available in the pathway, and then we have what you have to teach versus what you can teach. So what this is saying is that it's best practice for your students who take Law Enforcement Services to take Foundations of Justice and Public Safety, move into law enforcement, and then it's your choice where they move from there as a school and as a district. These are conversations that you would have to have with your building administration to make sure that you're aligned with what they expect you to teach. But your certificate will allow you to teach anything on this landing page. You do need to have 4 total courses in your pathway, and that's relevant to all CTE, not just Law Enforcement Services, to be a complete pathway. If you're a brand new pathway, you will not teach all 4 courses in your first school year, as they have to have the prerequisite before they're ready to move on to the next course. If you're coming into an existing pathway, though, it is likely that they already have a 4-course model determined and decided upon, so make sure that you ask them about what those courses are for your school. Moving on from what courses are they and what are their names to what do I teach inside of those courses. So again, continuing on with the theme of Law Enforcement Services, we're going to look a little bit at the law enforcement course. So you can see the name of the course code, the description, the prerequisite course that should be taken before this class, the grade level that typically takes this course, how many credits a student should earn if they pass the class, and what should students be able to do at the end of the course. You notice probably when reading over these student will objectives that they are also very broad and not super duper narrow. And the reason for that is, going back to the trust and autonomy we give you as industry professionals, we want you to have the flexibility to include a variety of different activities and assessments and opportunities of learning for students under these big, broader categories. So discuss ethical principles for police behavior. There's a lot of layers and a lot of pieces and a lot of methods you can use, from videos to lecture to note-taking to projects to research and etc. It's up to you and how in which you cover that material so that you know your students understand. Moving on from there, we're going to go back to the website, and you can see that there are different links down here below that we just talked about. So screenshots of those programs or pathways, in those landing pages. And then we have some things called curriculum maps. Curriculum maps are available to you, and even though they say 24-25, they are still relevant. I assure you, if it's on the page, it is still active. But those curriculum maps give you something to kind of wrap your mind around. How long should I be taking to do this lesson or this topic? So you can go in and see on the far left your standard, which is the same thing as that student will objective, how much time that topic should have spent on it. So 5 hours for career exploration in this example. And then what are some targets or smaller objectives in the learning process that I should be looking to make sure my students can do before I move on. So curriculum maps are very helpful as you get started, and understand again with the autonomy, you can take what you like from these and you can leave what you do not, and that is totally acceptable and up to you. Just make sure any choices you're making do align with them meeting those larger student will objectives on your course page, and that the way in which you're teaching meets the expectations of your school building. Moving on from there, we also have an organization which is the national level of KACTE called the Association for Career and Technical Education. So we have the Kentucky Association for Career and Technical Education, and the national partner is ACTE. They have a document that is called the 12 High Quality CTE Indicators, and it gives you a snapshot as a new teacher. What do you need to aspire to do in your program area over these next few years as you make this transition? You're not going to be great at everything all at once. That's not reasonable. This is a big learning curve, but you can do it with the appropriate resources and support around you. So I want you to think about engaging with this ACTE resource for future and forward planning and getting ideals down on paper, because it gives you tangible guidance on terminology and language that will help you understand what does good standards aligned integrated curriculum look like. And if that whole statement I just said and that whole sentence is overwhelming, don't worry, because this document will define it and explain it so that you can make more informed decisions about how you have these elements included in your program area and pathway, but not something you need to jump and try to do all at once. Moving on from there, we're going to talk a little bit about LPS industry certifications. Then we're going to wrap up this specific video with Google Classroom. And again, engaging in all of these different resources on the website as you want, but for this welcome video, we don't want to go too much in depth because I want you to be able to get started with what do you teach, how are you going to teach it. So let's move on to LPS industry certifications. Industry certifications are critical because they are the way that we in law and public safety help contribute to career readiness for our students, which is one of the goals that they have as they are journeying towards their completion of high school. So there are 5 different ways to achieve career readiness in CTE pathways. But for law and public safety, the most important to be aware of is industry certifications, co-op education and internships, and dual credit. We do not have an EOP assessment, which is a test created by the State Department, and we do not use track currently in LPS. So these 2 you don't need to worry about. The other 3 are ways that you can help your students. When you scroll down this website, and I'm going to give you time to kind of dive in before I go into too much detail, you can go into seeing what are the stages of a student in the progression of my pathway from the first year to the last year. Then you can also see what are the exams that I need to offer my students over the 4 years that I have them. But let's say you're on semester models and you don't have them for 4 years. You have them for 3 hours a day and they do 2 classes with you per year. So you have 2 years with them. You would still need to accomplish these by the end of the time that they complete your last class. So you can see the exams that are listed here in this snapshot. And then you can see the breakdown that I've provided as your consultant to give you extra guidance on how to accomplish these goals. You have the cost of each of the exams listed above. You have how long that they are valid. What do you need to do as an instructor to be certified to teach the content? How long does it typically take for that content to be taught? And how do you order those exams? So you will see there was a section for law enforcement, there's a section for pre-law, there's a section for fire science. All of those details, again, can be engaged with as it becomes relevant to your journey. But if you're a brand new program only teaching first-year students, this is not something that you typically focus on in year 1. Now let's wrap up with the LPS Google Classroom or the resource repository. The resource repository, which I'm going to show you how to join with the instructions here on your screen, so please pause now if you need to join the classroom. You will see the steps of go to classroom.google.com, log into your account, and then you will need to enter this class code that you see on your screen, NULSZXZ. That will allow you to come to this landing page. But I also want to draw your attention to some features up here. This feature is Stream. This is not an area that is going to be helpful for you because all it's going to show you is all the different dates that I posted all the different things. What I would recommend is going into Classwork. Classwork will allow you at your convenience to explore all of the different topics by topic area. So for instance, as a new teacher, curriculum and textbook options are critical. You can navigate to that page, find the options, and consider what works best for you. These are some things to get you started, and I hope they were helpful. I can't wait to meet with you and work with you. Don't forget to explore things